Police want my DNA. Do I need a lawyer? Well, that's a good question. So what will happen is sometimes if police are investigating you for a crime, they'll give you a call or they'll stop over at your house or they'll leave a business card there and they say that they want to come get a DNA sample of you. So the question is, do you need to get a lawyer before you do that? And I think generally the answer is it's a good idea. Here's why. You certainly don't have to get a lawyer if law enforcement wants to come get a DNA sample from you. And the way that works, if they come and do it, is they'll bring over this packet that basically has a couple Q-tips in it. Think of them like that. And they take them out, and they're called a buccal swab. And they'll scrape the inside of your cheek with them. It doesn't hurt. And that'll scrape skin cells off the inside of your cheek, and then they'll send that sample into a crime lab, and they'll compare that to whatever DNA they're looking for someone else and see if there's a match to you at some sort of crime scene. Law enforcement oftentimes will do this without getting a search warrant from a judge first, and here's my tip for you about that. If you just say, okay, that's fine, I'll come and let you have a DNA sample of me, you've given up later a challenge to whether or not they had a right to get your DNA sample. Instead, if you have a lawyer, one of the things we can do is we can talk to law enforcement for you and protect you in a couple ways. One, sometimes law enforcement, when they want to come get the DNA, they'll also want to come question you, and if you don't know your rights very well, you may be answering those questions, and law enforcement won't have to read you the Miranda warning because they know how to get around that in many circumstances, and the result is that anything you say will be used against you in court, and so you can make a case against yourself more difficult. Even if necessarily you didn't commit the crime, you could be wrongfully accused, and so you need to watch out for that. Second, usually what I do is I have law enforcement get a search warrant for someone before they'll get the DNA. And we do that in a cooperative way. We don't have to be jerks about it, but this is the reason why. Law enforcement has to have probable cause to get a search warrant. And if they try to get a search warrant from a judge and they're unable to get one because a judge finds there's not probable cause, then they can't get your DNA, and it's that much more difficult for them to have a case against you, which is a good thing for you. Second, if they do get a search warrant from a judge, then later, if you're charged with a crime, your lawyer and you have a right to challenge that search warrant. And if we beat the search warrant later, then the DNA evidence would be thrown out. And of course, your case gets much better from there. So there's a lot of reasons why you might not want to give up DNA, even if you really haven't committed a crime. Once you give up that DNA, it's going to be in law enforcement's database forever and potentially other places as well. So if you have more questions about a DNA sample, or if law enforcement's calling you and asking you for some DNA, feel free to give me a call. I'm criminal defense attorney Ryan Pacyga. You can call me at 612-339-5844 or find me at www.arrestedmn.com.